Hey guys, it's lovely to have you back here across on my Crafter's Companion YouTube channel. I hope you are well on this lovely but mild day. Well, it is certainly on the day that I am filming this. Excuse the attire, but I have been finishing getting the garden sorted and been away to the skip and just got lots of things skipped from the garden. But it is rather quite, well, I say mild, it's rather quite warm. Hence why I've got the fan on, although every now and again it's been torrential rain. So I thought, right, let's get into the craft room. We have got penny sliders. That's what we're going to be doing. That's what we're going to be having a play with. And we're going to be having a play with a craft box. Now this is something that so many of you are familiar with. So many of you have still got at home. So I thought, right, let's go back. Let's revisit it. But what we'll do is, instead of using the papers and cards that come with the box, we'll use the stamp and the dies and the cardstock, i.e. the card blanks that come with it. But what we'll do is we'll start to bring in some other papers that we've got instead, just to show you how you can use other items out with the actual box itself. It is number 35. It is all about the penny sliders. So if I bring this in for you guys to see. Now, if you've managed to get a hold of it, as of filming this, it is still in stock across on our website. As I said, if you are going to be collecting within the numbers, it's 35. You've got an ability to make 24 cards. That's using the cards that come inside, but you've got over 195 elements. Now, when it comes to the non-consumable items, which is of course the stamp and the dies, you look after them. They'll be able to last you a lifetime, and then that's when you can start to use all your other goodies that you've got at home. So what we're going to do is we're going to use a few bits from the box, and then we're going to be using maybe a couple of little bits. I'm thinking because there's clouds in here, well, you've got unicorns and that in there, thought maybe let's bring in some of the clouds from Colour Your World. So before we dive in, as always, thank you so much for everyone that comments underneath the videos. I'm trying to get better and actually comment to them, or at least reacting to them, and as well as for all of you that do continuously subscribe. I'm not that far off of 4K, which is just absolutely unbelievable. It's near the same amount across on my Craiglairdcc Instagram page, so thank you for that as well. So thank you for all of you that do subscribe, and then thank you for those that hit that bell notification, which if you don't know by now, that just means as soon as I upload a tutorial, you'll get notified to say it's there ready for you to go, like this one here. Now, penny sliders, a lot of fun. What you're going to need are 2 pennies or 2 cents. Now I say that I prefer, if you're a little bit more flush, I prefer to use 5p. I think maybe 5 cents are round about the same size as well. So I like to use them instead. It's a cost of 10 cents. So I like to use them, and I'll show you why as well. It's just to do with the size and the shape of them. So I've got them ready to go, and then we're going to be using some of our tri-blends. Penny sliders, the box is what we're going to be using, but we're going to be using the dies. Just the stamp. Oh, yep, that's the dies. I'm going to be using the clear stamps. Yep. And then what are these? Do I need these? Dewdrops. I might use them. Might. I'll take them out. But then we've got all of our cardstock, our printed papers, which we're not going to use from this one. These envelopes. Nope, these are card blanks, so that's fine. So we're going to use a 5x7 card blank. You've got 6x6 in there as well. You've got the envelopes all to go with. So that's all that I'm actually going to be using from the craft box. We're just using the stamps, the dies, and then we're also going to be using the card blank. So that's me got these bits here, and then potentially the dewdrops. So let's take these ones out, and got our card blank. Now, what I'm going to be doing is, instead of the papers that come in with the box, I thought let's now use the everyday scenes. So this is an 8x8 pad that we had previously. Check out the website to see if it's still in stock. If it is in stock, I'll link it in the description. So we're going to be using that one. And then what I've got is a couple of full sheets, but also some offcuts of grey and also of blue. So this is maybe actually gives you a tease as to what one I've already picked out beforehand that we're going to be using. So we're going to be using some grey and then some blue. This is just a smooth cardstock, but if you've got any of our linen cardstock, you can use that one. And then what we're also going to be using, just to finish off, let's go in with a couple of the cloud dies. So it goes to show that you don't just have to solely use what's in the craft boxes, start to bring in what you've already got at home. So that's look for rainbows. So we're going to use a couple of the rainbow dies. And then to colour, we're going to use a tri-blends. So we're going to use brown grey blend, dark red blend, pale pink blend, jade green blend, ice blue blend, citrus blend, pink violet blend, and also ice grey blend. And because we're going to use the unicorn and we're going to be using the rainbow stamp, we want to have a few bright colours. So that's what we're going to be using. So let's get started. We've got our card blank here. Let's move those dies out the way because we don't need them just now. And then let's go into our paper. Now I need a fuller sheet of the rainbow. I know it's one of my favourites, so hopefully I've still got some left over. If not, I can go into another pad that I've got that I can open. Yeah, there we go. So going in with the blue tones of the rainbows. So let me move all these bits out the way for now. And then we can come in with some of the blue and also some of the grey card. So I've got any that are big enough. Nope. So we're going to use the full sheet. And then I also will need some white card. That's what I'll also need as well to actually stamp. Well, not stamp. Well, yeah, stamp some of the icons from the penny slider stamps. And also we need to die cut as well to create that motion. So move that out the way. Let's take our guillotine. So let's go for, let's try 4.5 by 6.5. So 4.5 by 6.5. Yep, we've got adequate space to do the mats and layers. So let's take the blue. Oh, I do have a little bit of blue left. I'm just going to make sure that it's square. It is. So let's go for just under 4 3/4 by just under 6 3/4. So let's see there. Yep, that's fine. And then let's take the grey. And then when it comes to the notch of 4 3/4, we're going to go to the left hand side of the notch. And then we're going to do the same at 6 3/4. And we're going to go to the left hand side of the notch. That should hopefully give us just a small, it's maybe a little bit too small. So I'm going to trim a slither off the blue here. Make sure the slither is kind of the same. Let's have a look. Let's bring in the card blank. Yeah, that'll be fine. Now if I've still got enough blue, let me just trim that a little bit. So that'll be a little bit, maybe about 3 mils under 4.5 and about 3 mils under 6.5. Let's pop that there. Yeah, happy with that. Nice and simple. Then let's bring in a piece of the white card. So this is going to be the base where we're going to start to die cut our penny slider aperture. So if I go, let's do 5.5 by 3.5. No, that's a little bit too big. Right, so let's gauge the die. Well, I've got ample room to make that smaller. Let's go right down to 5 by 3. Yeah, that'll be fine. Yeah, happy with that as well. So that's 5 by 3. And then let's give ourselves mats and layers for that one. So let's go 3 3/4 by 5 3/4. Nice mat. And then let's go a couple of mils over. Well, we have 3.5. No, let's go about 3 mils over 3 3/4 by about 3 mils over 5 1/4. So I don't want it quite 1/4 of an inch thicker. Which that can go there. That can go there. Yeah. Yes. Happy with that. And then our penny slider motion can go into the middle. I wonder though, I don't really want a pure straight edge. I know. If we bring in my edge crimpler. Yeah, let's do it. Let's use the edge crimpler for the pattern. Yeah, for the pattern paper. So let's go around the edge and then start to give that a bit of distress. So we're going to distress that. Pulling and pushing, pulling and pushing. Distressing that edge, ruffling that edge up to make it unneat and uneven. The way you hold it and pinch it, don't worry if you start to bend and buckle the cardstock, if you start to give it additional tears. It doesn't matter, it's going to add to the, not so much the effect, but it's just going to add that natural, rustic, organic feel, let's say. So let's scrape back and forwards, like so, up to the edge. It's a nice safer way than actually using your scissors. And then along the bottom, the other thing I forgot to do that I always like to do, and that's the insert, so we'll go back to that in a moment. We'll use the grey for the mat and layer because the grey is the darkest colour that I am using. Think of all the other coloured cardstock that you've got at home, all the other pattern papers that you've got at home. I mean, what you could do is, well, if I bring in, let me get rid of that. So I've got my edges here, nicely distressed. You could add a little bit of ink around the edge if you want. I'm not, I'm going to keep it kind of natural. I'm just thinking another card that would work well is, let's see if I take, so this is like a gingham cardstock that Stix2 do. So even if you were to bring in things like that you've got, I can't even remember what I originally said, let's just say 4.5 by 6.5. So although I'm not going to be using this, but it's just to show whether it's an openness of pattern paper, whether it is, you know, a block pattern, still going to start to look quite smart, like you can see within these ones there. So that's going to give it a completely different look that you can see. But we are going to go back to our pattern paper here. So let's, before we stick that down, let's take some more white and let's bring in another bit of grey here. So my card blank's 5 by 7. So with the grey, let's go 4.5 by 6.5. And then for the white, let's go 6. Did I say 6.25 by 4.25. That's fine. So that's going to be our insert. So let's build these layers to start with. Apart from that white panel that we've done at 3 by 5, we don't want to do anything with that at the moment, i.e. sticking down. We want to keep that untouched because we're going to have to do a little bit of die cutting with it. But we're wanting to get all our main mats done to start with. So work my way around. You take your chosen adhesive of choice. Mine's is Stix2's tissue tape. You'll find that linked in the description as well. You might have ours, but ours is a finger lift tissue tape, which in general I'm not a big fan of finger lift tissue tape. I like the flush edge tissue tape. So I'm gonna just say any brand that does finger lift tissue tape I'm not a fan of. Right, let's open that one up and then let's pop that in there, and now that's our insert good to go. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do the blue and the grey to start with, because if I turn my pattern paper around just now, I'm going to kind of flatten that rough edge, which I don't necessarily want. I can come along and distress it a bit more by lifting the edges up with my pokey tool or bone folder or something, but I'm not actually going to be using my double-sided tissue tape to stick down the pattern paper. I'm going to go to my tacky glue and I'll show you why in a moment. So let's take all these layers. You're used to me by now. All my cards have got layers to them. I no longer apologise for that. If you find there are too many layers, you can just knock one off or a couple off depending on how many layers there are. So let's press that one down. And then we're going to go in with our pattern, but because a lot of these edges are lifted up, I want to keep them lifted. So I'm going to bring in my tacky glue, and I'm not going to go right to the edge. I'm just going to come in maybe about 1/4 of an inch where the pattern paper is going to lay flat onto the blue layer. And then let's turn that one round like so. And then press, but not pressing right to the edge, and flatten in that rough edge. And there we go. Happy with that. So now that is our base ready to go. Take a drink. With our insert. So let's set that one out the way. So let's bring in our card that we've cut to 3 by 5. We're going to go in with our penny slider bar. Now you can go horizontal if you want to, no, vertical, horizontal if you want to. I'm going to go at an angle just to make it, kind of slide that little bit easier. I'll show you the foam pads as well, how it's nice to make it slide. So I'm going to go in with my, either use your low tack tape, I'm using a masking stencil tape, and then we're going to come in with our junior plates. This is a simple die, so therefore, excuse me, I'm going to use my frosted and top plate. I'm not going to add in my magnetic shim because I won't need it. it will die cut perfectly without it. So let's run that one through. As that one comes through, what we've then got is we'll have our die cut slider aperture like that. There we go. So that's going to be the start of the slider. What we can then do at this point here is let's bring in our stamping platform. Actually, yeah, but we'll still bring it in, but let's go and do our character just now. Let's do going to do the unicorn. So let's bring in the die, pop that out the side for now, and then let's go in with our unicorn stamp. We're going to use like the sentiment and the cloud and that there onto here, but we'll get our unicorn and that done first. So I've got some white cardstock. This isn't Nina, it's just our white cardstock because there's going to be very little alcohol pen colouring going on, so it's still going to be absolutely fine and it's still going to be substantial when we stick it to our 5 pence. And I'm just going to tape it in. Now of course it's way bigger than I actually need, but that's absolutely fine. Just gives us plenty of scope. So let's pop our unicorn into the middle and then press. So I'm going to use my Noir Black alcohol proof ink pad. Let's make sure we've got a really good coverage, which we do. Turn it around, press, lift, and then there's our super cute unicorn. And of course with our unicorn or any of the stamps, you don't have to use them with the penny sliders. You can use them completely on their own. So let's move that one out the way. And as always, as I always like to do and say, is I like to die cut first before I colour. Now the chances, of course, of the die slipping is very slim as long as it's secured down, but it can happen. The thing with something like this that's so small, if it does happen, if you colour first then die cut and the die moves and you need to do it again, it's not the biggest end of the world because there's very little colouring to it, but it's still annoying. So let's tape that down, tape that down. I'm just going to use my mini for this one. So let's pop it on and then run through like so. What we'll do is, oh no, I was about to say let's die cut some clouds just now while we're here, but we won't. We'll do that at the end. We'll get the whole lot completed. Let's bring in just a little bit of the white card to lean on. Actually, I'll do it on black, grey, so it lets you see that little bit better. So if I zoom in, now I'm not going to do any blending when it comes to this. Let's just keep it very simple. So let's go in with, let's do the jade green to start with. I'm not going to go in any specific order, but let's colour in the tail there. And then I'm going to do, let's do the first bit of the mane. First bit there, first bit there, first bit there. So really these bits will only have a couple of colours. And then let's do the pale pink blend. And we'll do that next. Like so. And then let's go into the middle there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the pale pink blend for its actual unicorn antler stump thing. I will do a tiny little bit of blending on that, but just very light, and that's all. Yeah, that's fine. And then what was it? Let's do yellow next. So I'm going to go in with the yellow. into there. And then let's do, oh, I forgot. Where's my jade green? I forgot that one. There. Yellow can go into there. I also forgot the pale pink and that one there. And there, there. So I'm kind of doing each one in order. Let's go in with yellow, and then yellow, yellow, and then the yellow one. So that's that one. Next one, let's go back to the pale. So if we do that, let's do that one, pale pink. So let's bring in a jade green again. Let's go jade green, yellow. Let's go in there. And then let's go yellow into there. And then I've got space for one more, so let's hit the blue. And then let's do the blue into there. Yeah, happy with that. Happy with that one. I know it's not quite as strong on your screen, but you can see you've got the colour coming through. Right, let's do the love heart. So let's do the love heart in red. Here we go. Actually, let's do the little hoofs in light red as well. Yeah, there you go. Fine. And then, why did I bring purple out? I don't need pink violet, do I? Craig, you silly Billy. Right. The brown grey blend. So the lightest tone. What I'm going to do, because I don't want to keep it just completely white, so I'm going to go with the lightest tone, and I'm just going to work my way in ever so slightly, creating a little bit of shadow. I'm going to let's just come under there, just a little wispy line. Let's come down, and then let's go down, 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 down. Let's go under the body. And there's a reason why I'm not using my ice grey, because usually I say anything white, use your ice grey too, like snow, etc, etc, snowman. But the reason I'm not, I mean, even just the difference that you can see there makes it more round. But the reason I'm not, that is because I'm going to use it for the outside. I'm going to go a little bit darker though. I'm going to go ice grey 4. Make it a little bit more dramatic, but then it also makes the colour pop that little bit more. So work our way all the way round. Now, I know obviously usually you see me do this with a stamp, not necessarily with a die cut piece, but it's still worthwhile doing. If you're stamping something, even if you're die cutting it, it's still worthwhile going round that full outer edge with the ice grey 2. On this occasion I'm using ice grey 4. And then if I bring in a little bit of white, how cute, how cute, really is cute. Let's put, I'm trying to keep all my pens in order. I know it's kind of ridiculous, but I'm trying to keep it in order. What I'm also going to do, I've just got like a white gel pen just onto the love heart there. There we go. Actually, let's do onto the hoofs and onto the hoofs. There we go. That's enough. Tiny little bit, white gel pen. And then I didn't need that pale violet blend. Don't know why I brought that one out. But we've now got our little unicorn that's going to be our penny slider. So cute. So let's put that away, and then let's bring back in this one. So this is going to go our slider up and down. Let's come back in with our stamping platform, and then let's pop that down into place. So I'm going to move that up a little bit, move that. Now let's go in with our rainbow. And the reason I'm going to bring in the cloud dies from Colour Your World is because there's clouds there, and it adds a little bit extra visual on the card. Wishing you such a happy day. You deserve a treat. I believe in you. Wishing you oceans of joy. Yeah. Wishing you such a happy day. We're going to use that one. And let's pop that one there. What I'm also going to do, just because you don't want to see my head in the way, there we go, that should be fine. Let's bring in our stamping platform, and then let's go back to our alcohol proof. Ink up. Make sure that you've got a really good coverage. When you feel you've got a good coverage, let's turn that around, and then I think that's a little bit on the wonk. Oh, I can hear, and now I can see the rain starting. Now let's press. There we go. Wishing you such a happy day. Let's tap all that excess off. I know I've got my stamp cleaner, but sometimes it's just as quick to go in with my microfiber cloth. Let's pop that back. Don't want to put any other little bits on. Yeah, actually, let's do that. Where's my little acrylic block here? A little love hearts. So let's ink up. So let's go stamp. Yeah, that's more than enough. I'm not going to do any more. I would add another stamp, but no, I'm not going to. I'm going to keep it as it is and move that one out the way. Let's move that, and then before I forget, let's just take that little bit of ink off. Move this out the way, and then let's go back to doing a little bit of colouring. So let's go in with our red. Actually, let's do the red in the bottom of the rainbow. So let's add that on. Now these ones I am going to do a little bit of shading. So let's come with the dark tone, and then let's blend out, and then blend out. The love hearts I'm just going to do with the light tone. I'm not going to do any blending as actually. No, scrap that, I am. Let's go to the left hand side into here, blend with the mid-tone, little dots, and then let's finish with the light again, into there, and then that is the heart in that part for the cloud. Rainbow. Gosh, I couldn't think what it was there for a minute. Right, let's go in with the yellow. Lay down that light tone. And then let's go in with the darker. There's not much of a difference when it comes to the citrus, because they're all in order CT 1, 2 and 3. So you could always bring in some of your other deeper yellows or tans or oranges to create a little bit of drama from the yellow. And then red, yellow. Let's do blue, because I only used blue once on the unicorn. So going with that light tone. Colour in. Now the clouds I'm going to do the same as I've done with the unicorn and bring in the brown grey in a moment, and then we're going to go round with the ice grey as we always do. So let's go in with a little bit of the dark, and then let's go in with mid, and then let's go back in with the light to blend out. And then let's go in with brown grey. We're going to go in with the lightest one, and then we're just going to go round just a couple of little curves, round, kind of a couple of little hash lines in there as well. There we go. So there's our cloud, our cloud and our rainbow. And then let's go in with ice grey. Let's go in with 4 again. And then we're going to draw around all of these. And if you want it to be a little bit less, then go back to your ice grey 2. Or maybe you can go with a light blue or something. And then the sentiment, just going to go around. Wishing you such fun. I know it says such a happy day, but if anyone's familiar with the BBC comedy Miranda, I think it's so funny. I think she's so funny. And the mum goes, such fun. Yeah, it's the mum, isn't it? Day. And then round the clouds, where we've got that white edge, I'm just going to travel from start to end, like so. And there we go. So we've got our little penny slider, aperture, and then we've got our little unicorn as well. So that is, am I done? I think so, yeah, I think so. Now, for it to kind of flow nice and smoothly, I'm going to need 2 different depths of foam pads. So I've got 4mm depth, and then I've also got 3mm depth. Now, where possible, I do like to use the circle foam pads, which we've got within our small foam pad bundle. Don't worry if you don't have circle, because we're just going to make this a little bit smaller. So we're going to cut them. So you can cut your circles from your square foam pads. But the important bit is where the foam pad that we have for our 5 pences is a little bit thinner, just a mil thinner, by the foam pads that we're going to elevate the actual block on. So to make this easy, I would never waste the foam that's around the circle, but to make it a little bit easier for you to see, what I'm going to do is let's take that off. And the reason I'm going to cut this a little bit smaller is because the circle foam pads are a little bit too wide for the actual aperture mechanism. So we want to make that a little bit smaller. Doesn't have to be too small, but just a little bit smaller, so that you've got more of a flow and motion through the mechanism. I want to try and make it as round as possible. Doesn't have to be exact though, it's still going to move, and it will move with a square foam pad, but as you can imagine, a circle one is going to move better. If I put that in my hand, you can see that's just a little bit smaller now than the actual aperture. So let's just round that a little bit more. So the main thing is your foam pad for your 5 pences or your penny is a little bit thinner. So it has to be a little bit thinner than the foam pads that we're going to lift that up with. So let's take our, let's go on here. Now I would do this first, then put your foam pads on the back. So that means that you're visually, you can see that you're not going to block the mechanism rolling back and forwards, and I'll explain that in a moment. So let's press that on. Let's take that off. Let's pop that on, and then let's pop that into place and press. So now we've got that nice flow. I'm going to do that just a few times just to let the cardstock kind of flatten the roundness of that foam pad. So now that we've got that going, let's take our foam pads that are slightly thicker. So as I say, these are 4 mils in depth. That one that I used, the circle, is 3 mil in depth. And it just so happens that my 4 mils are 7 by 7 mil squares. Don't worry about the shape. These could be long foam pads. These could be big foam pads. The main point is you want them to be thicker than that foam pad. And by doing the mechanism of the 5 pence first, it lets you see where to put your foam pads to balance it out and make sure that your foam pads are not going to block the motion of that sliding. I'm going to pop another one into there, and then let's do another one into there. So if I lift that up now, again, you can see you've got that motion and nothing is blocking that 5p. So let's bring back in our layers here. Oh, that was a horrible sounding squeak. Let's bring the end of my tape. Let's press all of that into place. And to create extra height, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that onto foam pads. So that's why I'm only putting tape onto the back here. So let's take all of that off. So I'm going to put all of these on first before I put my die cut panel. And then let's take the backends off. So the way that I've done the penny slider and the way that I've done the mechanism and that's the way that I like to do it. That's my preferred method. I know some people may do it slightly different for whatever reason, but I find this the easiest way. And once again, the size of the foam pads here doesn't matter. They could be bigger. It's just mine's that are 4 mil, you want them to be thicker, are just smaller squares. So let's pop that on. And because those squares are slightly thicker, they're slightly higher, that means the bottom 5 pence isn't really coming into contact with the card. So you've got more of that slide in motion. You can see. Then let's bring in, I need to get some more foam pads, bigger foam pads. So let's get some. Here we go. So let's get these in here. Now I could have used some of the smaller ones, but I want to use these. Now, actually, so these ones, these are 4 mil in thickness, so I could have used them on the back there, still ensuring that I don't block any point of that 5 pence. And I know on our Crafter's Companion foam pads, we've got thick ones as well. There we go. And they don't have to be 3 mil and 4 mil. They could be any thickness as long as that is higher than that. So let's bring that back in. And then let's line that up. And then we're going to die cut some clouds. So what we're going to do is let's stick our unicorn on. And I'm going to position it there so we don't see any of the 5 pence. I could go like that, where we don't see the 5 pence, but it just raises our unicorn that little bit higher. I'm going to use the tacky glue, Stix2's PVA tacky glue. Our call-out tacky glue is also a treat to work with as well. I don't want to raise it any higher on foam pads. All my layers are high enough. But I'm going to hold and press. I'm going to let that grab before I go any further. So let's bring in our look for the rainbows. And so we've got 3 large, medium. So let's do medium. Yeah. Let's do medium and small. And let's do them in blue with a grey drop shadow. We'll do, not blue, no, not blue, white. White with a blue drop shadow, that's going to be better. So if I do, let's do, I know it might seem a little bit of an odd number, but let's do 2 in one corner, 2 in the other. Actually, no. We will do 3. Actually, we'll do 2 in one corner, 3 in the other. That's the way round it. So let's do a medium and a small in white, and then another medium and small in white, and then let's do another small in white. So let's do 2 just in case I decide to go 3 in each corner. But it's all about ensuring that we don't block the unicorn from moving. So better to have extra clouds than not enough. So that gives us 2 medium and 4 small. Let's bring in our blue card, and we're going to do exactly the same that we've done a moment ago. Let's take that down, hold that into place. Off the edge and we're fine. So there's medium small. Twist it around to fit. Run that through. And then the same again, medium small, and then we need 2 small ones. So let's pop that on. Now we could have folded the card over in half and cut 2 at once. You know me, I've said it umpteen times. I prefer not to. I prefer to die cut all individually so every layer has a nice, crisp, clean cut. Okey-doke. So that is giving us all our clouds. Let's move all that out the way and that out the way. So doing our drop shadow, let's come in with my glue. I'm going to do, although the die cuts, cloud die cuts, I'm going to do the drop shadow like I usually do, and that's come down to the bottom right hand corner. So we've got a little bit of the blue popping through. You could have done it with the grey, but the grey I think maybe would have made it look like a dark and dreary day. Which I don't want. I want it to be a nice, happy, shiny, a nice happy day. So there's our clouds. So let's do drop shadows for these ones. And that one into there as well. So definitely do 2 in each corner, but whether my kind of OCD will allow me to do an even number when ideally we should be doing an odd number, but at least I've got a couple so I can add an odd number. So let's pop that on, and then last but by no means least, let's pop that one on, like so. There we go. Right, I'm going to bring in my old school tiny 5x5 foam pads. So let's bring this in here. So when the unicorn comes down, let's pop that cloud there flat, and that cloud there flat. Yeah, so get away with them being flat. That's not going to block the motion and movement. Let's try that again. Yeah, that's fine. And then let's bring in that cloud. So let's, yep, let's go that one there. And then let's bring back down again. And then, yeah, let's overlay that one into there. And then let's do that, but let's add it on a foam pad so it's suspending or hanging over. Yep, so let's do that there, and then that there. And even though it's high, it's not going to block the movement. So let's come down just a little bit. I'm going to put my pokey tool underneath to press that in. So you can see we've got the build of clouds coming. And then let's start to do the same up into here. So let's overlap that with the glue. That's overlapping slightly. And then where's my other, oh there it is. So you see there's my other cloud gone. That one, let's go here. Actually, no. Let's go, yeah, let's go there. Or should I go, let's go there. Yeah, let's go there. I like that. Do I? Oh, Craig. Let's go at the top. So let's, that 'cause it still won't affect the mechanism. Hopefully not. And then I'm keeping you in suspense by not actually sliding the unicorn. So if I bring that into there, yep. Now I'm going to get a pokey tool once again. Press that in. And then, yeah, let's see, we've got the clouds. Let's bring in a couple of the dewdrops. And let's do 1, 2, 3. Let's do a medium one here. And then remember, the dewdrops you get within the box. So the only extras I've used instead is the pattern paper and then the blue and the grey cardstock, although you do get that included in the box. Or sorry, you get pattern paper and cardstock included in the box. I've just chosen to use my own one, but everything else you get included. So let's pop that on there and pop that on to there, like so. Oh, where's it gone? It's disappeared. Let's add another one. There we go. There we are. Happy with that. However, the proof is in the moving. Is it going to slide? Yay! Slides absolutely perfectly. Look at that. And it slides perfectly because we've used 2 thicknesses of foam pads. There we go. See, that is, so that's what I'm going to have to watch for. That's the sort of thing you need to watch for, so it doesn't catch on. There we are. We've got that moving. How cool's that? So yes, to actually get the flow in the moving, make sure that you've got 2 different thicknesses of foam pads. And there we are. So you could complete that whole card from everything within the box. But if you change it up, you can get a slightly different look. So I added my own pattern paper, my own cardstock, and then the cloud die as well from the die of Colour Your World. What you could have done, the cloud stamp, you could stamp that out, colour it, and then fussy cut if you don't have any cloud dies. But yeah, well chuffed with that one. It just caught there. Here we go. Really, really chuffed with how that looks. And really chuffed with how it's flowing as well. And there we are. So I will link it in the description. I know it's still in stock currently on our Crafters Companion website, but if you've already got it, then hopefully it's another little bit of idea and inspiration for you. But why not change it? Instead of using the unicorn, why not bring in some of the little character stamping dies you've got from other collections or Christmas ones, or it could be little photos, or it could be sentiments if you want to. Completely entirely up to you, but at least within that box you've got all the main components that you need. Right, that is it. Thank you so much for tuning in and joining me again on my Crafters Companion YouTube channel. Until the next time, we will see you very soon. Toodles.